How's it going, Otakudos? Makoto Otakudo here, back with another episode of Eden for you guys. You know, when we last left off, we got some very heartaching news on Inaba. A lot of things happened. We learned what happened. Learned some more of what happened after we escaped with Sean some months ago. And hey, we went back and that last night, when we got back, we slept in the same bed with Shion. That was that episode. And now we get back on to the. Before I get started, if you don't know what's going on and you just tune in to this episode, I highly advise you go back to the beginning. There's gonna be a link in the description. You're gonna play this and watch from the first episode up to now. And like always. Let's just get right started with everyone that already know. If you missed the last week episode, they're gonna be linked down there as well for you guys. Enough of that. Enough of my rambling on. Let's get started, shall we? A few days had passed since passed. The weather had gotten a bit sloppy, but she enjoyed staying indoors and talking to Maya. To quote Shion,
マヤの頭はあまり良くないけど、それだけに何を言い出すのかわからなくて面白い。それに私、マヤくらいの年の女の子と話したことってなかったから。
It would seem speaking with Maya was a breath of fresh air in its own way. By the time the weather improved, Maya's notebook was jam-packed cover to cover.
マヤ、そろそろ帰った方がいい。
Shun suddenly declared while we were sitting down for the breakfast. Maya froze in place when she hurried with her scrambled eggs inches away from her mouth.
りょう、しばらく天気は持ちそう？
ああ、この時期はもともとあまり雨は降らないからな。昨日までが少し異常だったんじゃないか。
ということみたい。
Shun said no more and focused on her soup bowl, as if to say the conversation was over. Of course, Maya wouldn't have it.
ちょっとシオン、帰れってどういうこと？自分の家に戻るということ。帰って船に乗る準備をするということ。そういうことじゃなくて、なんでいきなり帰るの。
Her words were emotionless, yet had such intensity that they left no room for discussion. I fucking cannot pronounce the name, sorry. It was glaring at Shion, looking like she would accept it.
明日にでも出発するといい。りょう、途中まで送ってあげて。
近くの町までなら構わないが。
私、まだ帰るなんて言ってないよ。帰らないと死ぬことになる。
Shion was at a loss for words. Still, everything Shion had said was the truth. It was easy to tell there was next to no time left until the final counting ship departed, even though there was no calendar of any sort in a cottage. Keeping the distance to the spaceport in mind, she should be safe to set off soon.
だけど、まだ取材も終わってないし。もう十分。多分、マヤは私の次に私について詳しい。そんなこと言われたって。マヤはリョウのことが好き？離れたくない？
何の話だ？
言った通り、二度同じことは言いたくない。
Shin was utterly expressionless. She slipped away at her soup with her tiny mouth little by little.
好きとかそういうことじゃなくて。冗談。シオン？帰れっていうのは冗談じゃない。船に間に合わなかったら、ここで私が話したことも全部無駄になる。マヤも自分の仕事をやらなきゃダメ。 もう時間がないことにマヤは気づいてない。気づいてないふりをしてるみたいだから教えた。でも結局帰るかここにとどまるかはマヤの自由。
Shion wasn't tossing her out. She was simply being brutally honest and telling her the truth.
そりゃ私だって帰るつもりだよ。だけど急にそんなの。本当に帰る気はあるの？理性では帰らないとって思ってるけど帰りたくない気持ちが強い。違う？違わないかもしれない。
Maya muttered feebly.
シオン、それくらいにしておけばどうだ。
今度は私がいじめてるみたい。
いじめてるとは言わないけどな。マヤにも心の準備ってもんが必要だろう。
I couldn't sense any emotion whatsoever in her eyes as she gazed at me. This was clearly a strange situation. There had been no mistake in what she said, and it was strange that I was sticking up for mine. I had no reason to do that. I didn't utter a single word after that until the meal was over, nor did she lift her head. When I finished working in the fields, When I finished working the fields and returned to the cottage, Shion was standing in the doorway. Her soft rippled hair was waving in the breeze. She was quite picturesque when she just stood in place.
りょう？
起きてたのか。
She said she was a little sleepy today and hadn't come to the fields with me.
お腹すいた。
ちょっと待ってろ。すぐに用意するから。
There was no need for her to purposely wait for me outside. Her actions were very cryptic at times.
マヤはどうしたの？
ああ、あいつはまだやりかけの作業があるからもう少し畑に残るそうだ。
拗ねてるの？
さすがにそんなガキみたいなことは。
Shion quickly brushed away the hair that had been blown onto her cheek.
人間なんて大人も子供もそんなに変わらない。つまらないことで拗ねるし、ちょっとしたことで驚くもの。
シオンもそうなのか？
私って人間？
As far as I can see, you're a human here. This whole fields thing you lived the whole long time. That's out the window. But standing right here, how you acting and how you respond to stuff, you're very human-like to me. She asked with a mystified look on her face. That was a no-brainer. She may have been genetically modified and may have created things nobody else ever could have, but
当たり
still.
前のことを聞くのはバカだろ。
バカ。
Though her expressions was relatively unfazed, she seemed to be moved.
バカなんて言われたの100年ぶりくらい。
Well, obviously.
スケールが違うな。
Yep. Yep.
本当に小さかった頃はバカとか役立たずとかいつも言われてた。懐かしい。
ま、そういう感情を持ってるのが人間の証拠なんだろう。
Yeah, that's obviously. Shion smiled slightly and nodded.
話がそれてる。
マヤのことならこれ以上追い詰めるようなことを言うのはやめておこう。
Yeah, I'm saying it right, Maya.
あいつだってバカじゃない。いつまでもここにいられないのは分かっているだろうし、自分で納得するまで待ってやるのもいいだろ
う。りょうは分かりやすいほど優しくなった。
別にどうでもいいからさ。あいつがいようがいまいが。
Well, true.
嘘つき。
She said that what a sign turned her around. She went back into the cottage, her long hair swaying behind her. I watched her go in silence and immediately walked in after her. Ultimately, Maya hadn't come back at the end of the afternoon. There was nothing I could do about it. I wrapped up her lunch and up stir-fried vegetable and put it in the fridge and decided to head back to the field. June said she felt sluggish from oversleeping and was reading a book in the living room. I guess she was finally tired of tending to the fields. Not that working in the fields required her assistance. Maybe I find her some other pastime. Just as I was thinking that over,
遅かったな。
Maya walked straight up to me, hanging her head and blushing for some
草むし
reason.
りは終わったのか？
終わったよ。
だったらさっさと飯を食ってこい。野菜炒めが冷蔵庫に入ってる。あとはいつもの米と生卵も一つあるから。
あのさ、
Maya looked up, her voice making me feel frantic somehow.
春菜くんも私は帰らなきゃダメだと思う。
当たり前だろ
See?
私一人だけで。
う。何が言いたいんだ？
Maya shook her head and her ponytail swayed from side to side.
私にもわかんないよ。わかんないなんて言ってちゃダメなんだ。もう時間ないんだから。
She brooded over it with her hands on her temples. No matter how pressed for time she might be, surely she didn't have to come to a conclusion right here and now.
最近は俺もシオンもいつもお前に付き合ってるな。
だって私二人と話がしたいんだもん。
だったら座れ。慌てることもない。が、どうでもいい話をして何かわかることもあるだろう。
As I said that, I took a seat on the ground. The ground was still faintly warm from basking in the sunlight all day.
こんなとこで？
座り込んでいたって車が来るわけじゃない。別に構わないだろう。
Yeah, but basically
この
mostly.
山は春菜くんとシオンのものだもんね。
何が誰のものなんて発想がここにいるとなくなるな。
Maya sat down in front of me as I
でも
grinned.
春菜くんはシオンのものだよね。
別にシオンの所有物じゃない。
I frowned on reflex.
じゃあ私のものになる？
あいにくだが誰かに飼われるのはもうやめにしたんでな。
ちぇ
She clicked her tongue, seemingly genuine and disappointed. Hadn't she wanted to have a serious conversation?
シオンはどうしてるの？まだ寝てる？
いや、今は本を読んでくつろいでる。
私のこと怒ってなかった？
怒ってはいないが気にしているみたいだな。
そっか。
Maya smiled a little and turned her attention in the direction of the cottage. That look in her eyes is as if she wanted to cuddle up against Shion's side right this second.
ずいぶんシオンが気に入ってるみたいだな。
冷たい人かなと思ってたんだよね、正直なところ。でも全然違った。見た目がいいだけじゃなくて中身もちょっと変わってるけど可愛い女の子だよね。ぎゅーって抱きしめてゴロゴロ転がり回りたい。
ぬいぐるみじゃないぞ、シオンは。
冗談だってば、そんな目で睨まないでよ。
ま、 実際のところシオンは女の子なんて年じゃないけどな。
At times it slipped my mind, even my mind, but Shion had lived many times longer than Maya. And in that long life, she managed to accomplish unbelievable feats. Yet, all the same, Shion had not lost her purity. That seems marvelous to me.
シオンから見たら私なんて子供以外の何者でもないだろうね。
だろうな。
私ジャーナリストなんて言ってるけど全然駆け出して。
Maya tore the tip of a ponytail in her fingers.
文章も下手だしカメラの扱いもろくに知らないし駆け引きとかも全然ダメで。ただ興味を持った対象への熱意だけで仕事やってんの。ガキだよね。
一人きりでこんなとこまで来ただけでも大したもんだ。
あれ
Maya slanted her head and stared upward at me. Those eyes filled with unadulterated curiosity seems inexplicably dazzling.
もしかして褒めてくれてるの？
思ったことを言っただけだ。
I answered and turned
そういえ
away.
ば、お前はなんでジャーナリストになろうと思ったんだ？
は？
なんだ、その間抜けな声は。
なんでって、それは世界のことを知りたいと思ったから。
それは前にも聞いたけど、何かきっかけくらいなかったのか？
きっかけ。
I looked down to the ground as she continued to twirl her hair around her fingers. I hadn't meant for it to be such a deep question, so I was a bit put off at how serious she took it.
いや、思い出せないならそれでもいい。
そうじゃないけど、思えばおじさんにもちゃんと話したことなかったなと思って。
一応きっかけはあるんだな。
そのきっかけがあってすぐに仕事始めて、それからは人に話を聞くばかりで自分のことを話したことなんてなかったな。
Well, you tend to do that, I believe. Maya took her fingers away from her hair. Her mood mysteriously, almost like she'd forgotten what Shun had told her this morning.
まあ実は大したことじゃないんだけどね。実は私3年ほど前に誘拐されたことがあるんだよ。
それは十分に大したことだろ
う。誘拐とか監禁とか暗殺とかちょっと前までは都市部でも頻繁にあったことじゃん。
まあな。
She didn't have to say it. I was quite aware. The terrorists who opposed the Earth Evacuation Project had repeated confrontations with police force, creating a quasi-civil war. As their influence gradually waned, they couldn't even acquire weapons or personnel to continue fighting. At which point they promoted their cause by pulling off small-scale crimes such as kidnappings and assassinations. It was a sign of how desperate they had become. Whenever there was a situation the police couldn't handle, the military special force, GAT, was deployed to deal with it.
実を言うとね、私の父上って政府のお役人なんだよ。
ということは、お前はお嬢様なのか？信じられないな。
本当だよ。まあ確かに昔から親の言うことを聞かないバカな子供だったけど。
三つ子の魂100までということわざがあったな。
ほっといて。まあそれはともかく、父上は結構偉い人で地球脱出計画にも深く関わってたからテロリストの標的になっちゃってて。
3年前か。そろそろテロリストどもも行き詰まってた頃だな。目的も成果も考えず、八つ当たりのように犯罪を繰り返してた時期だ。
As far as I knew, there were nearly no instances of any kidnappings being released unharmed. Hostages were put through a garment of horrors, and they had their tattered bodies dumped by the wayside like garbage.
私も少しはそのこと知ってたから、絶対に殺されると思った。目隠しされて、冷たい床に転がされて。
I'm sorry for that. My pause there. The terrors she once felt must have come rushing back to her. It may have been 3 years ago, but it was likely that before she was killed, a young woman like her would have been.
でも、私は運が良かった。父さんがつてを使って軍に頼み込んで、最強の特殊部隊が動いてくれたんだって。
最強の特殊部隊？
部隊名とかは知らないの。存在が公になってない部隊だったんじゃないかな。
It couldn't be. Or so I like to think. There was no way I could remember every last one of my missions in such detail.
特殊部隊の突入で、私は間一髪のところで助けられたの。
話は分かったが、なぜそれで報道になろうと思ったんだ？
Maya looked puzzled. I could understand if she had an admiration for admired the special forces and wanted to enlist, or if she had wanted to board the colony ship as soon as possible. But why, after facing such an ordeal, did she want to stay on this planet and become a journalist?
ね、テロリストたちが言ってたことが引っかかったんだよね。
あいつらの主張に染まったってことか？
まさか。
She shook her head sternly.
痛いけな女の子を誘拐するような奴らの言うことなんて信じないよ。でもさ、誘拐犯の一人にさ、言ったの。どうしてこんなことをって。
その質問は無謀だろう。
Had this woman been the rash type ever since she was a kid?
今思えばそうなんだけど、でも犯人たちは不思議に怒らなかったの。
She sat and looked into the distance.
君のように日向が似合う女の子を暗くて冷たい宇宙とかいうところへ連れ去ろうとする連中がいる。守るために始めた戦いだったが、今は背中にかばうべき者がもういない。ただ人を傷つけるだけになってしまった。犯人の一人が寂しそうな目でそう言ってたよ。残酷なテロリストなのは間違いない。だけどやっぱり人間なんだよね。
Yes, the people I had killed were humans who felt the same way. Soldiers are finally able to point their guns at the enemy once they're completely forgotten that. It had slipped my mind until just this very second. I would never think about it ever again.
犯人たちはどうしようもないバカだけど、あいつらがまるで違う価値観を持ってるっていうのは面白いって思ったの。
それでお前は
何が正しいとか結構どうでもいいんだよね。
She scratched her cheek as she blushed for whatever reason.
いろんな人たちの考え、言葉、価値観なんかを世界中の人に伝えたい。何が正しいかはそれぞれが自分で判断することだもんね。って行動としてはダメかな、私。
I grinned wryly at her childish behavior, and at the same time reassess my opinion on Maya. She wasn't just an idiot who acted on impulse and did rash things without thinking. Naturally, she may have been an idiot, but she discovered her true
シ
calling.
オンが成したことも彼女の言葉もお前は人々に伝えるだけか。
判断するのは私じゃないね。
だったら個人としてのマヤの意見はどうだ。
私個人の？
She started to twirl her hair again. More importantly, she should probably do something about that restlessness of hers. However, this time she was acting more mystified than worried.
そんなの決まってるじゃん。人を救うために頑張った人を私は尊敬するよ。
単純な意見だな。
Yep, it is.
私個人の意見って言ったくせにいいじゃんなんだって。
悪いとは言ってない。
I grinned, stood, and wiped the dirt off my pants.
なんか悪意を感じたんだよね。
I stood up, grumbling to herself.
でもまあ話聞いてくれてありがとう。
She came right up to me and with a smile on her
質問を
face.
したのは俺の方だ。
本当に自分のこと話すのって久しぶりだったんだよ。いかにも人に興味なさそうな春菜くんが聞いてくれたからかな。なんかすっごく嬉しい。
Okay, give me a second, guys.
一人で喜んでろ。
Seriously? I said that bluntly and began walking away.
あ、畑行くの？私も。
お前は飯を食ってこい。
I said it without looking back and quickly walked off. How utterly ridiculous. I had to believe I pried into someone else's path. Was I beginning to change in some way as well? Yes, my dear Ariel, you are starting to change. You start to loosen up a bit. I returned to the cottage after sunset. I returned to the cottage after sunset, prepared dinner, and checked Shion's health after the meal. It was an ordinary night, except for one thing. After I finished Shion's checkup, Maya got a serious look on her face.
話があるの。
But is how she broke the ice.
話？何のために？何のためにって。
The wind was taken outright out of her sail.
真理についての話とか？そういう高尚なものでもなくて。
Maya was already on that verge of tears. The way Shin teased her was far harsher than I could ever manage.
じゃなくて。
She shouted, half in tears.
ぶっちゃけ取材の続きをしたいの。まだ聞きたいことがあるの。分かってる。ひどい。
Shin idly gazed at Maya, who sniffled as she spoke.
りょう、お茶を入れて。
了解。
Got it. Alright on it. Although Shion teased her, she did seem to attend to talk. Although Shion teased her, she did and damn fuck. Ah! Here we go. Although Shion teased her, she did seem to intend to talk with her. I quickly prepared some black tea and set it down in front of Shion and Maya, the two who were seated across the table from each other. I stood a short distance away from the table.
なぜシオンはここにいるの？
Maya got the ball rolling just as Shion reached for a
正
cup.
確に言えば、マヤや多くの人たちが思い描いていたシオンはもういない。
Shion answered that sudden question sleekly and without
ここ
agitation.
にいるのはかつてシオンと呼ばれたものの残骸。そんなの答えになってない。本当のことだもの。
Shion sipped a mouthful of tea.
終わりを待つだけだった人類に希望を与えたのはシオンでしょ。絶望した人もいる。この星を出ていくくらいなら死んだ方がマシだと思った人も。多くの命を救ったことは事実だよ。だけど
Maya got remarkably close to Shion's face.
シオンにはまだやれることがあるんじゃないかな。ない。即答だね。何度も繰り返し考えたことだから。私は移民船のエンジンを設計しただけ。船が出た後のことは知らない。脱出計画はまだ終わってないんだよ。なのにシオンはここにいる。それでいいの？私は死んだことになってるって言ったのはマヤ。それは私がもう必要とされてないってこと。シオンは居場所を作ろうと思えばいくらでも作れるはずだよ。計画が終わったって人類は新しい空間で生きていくためにやらなければいけないことが山積みでしょ。その時シオンの力があれば。そうか。マヤにははっきり言ってなかった。
シオン。
Shion. My voice was more exciting than I intended. But Shion shook her head and slightly and spoke.
私の時間はもう残り少ないの。仲間のフェリクスたちももうほとんど死んでる。仲間たちの臨床データを集めて分析したエリカが私の命がそう遠くないことを告げてくれた。でもシオンは元気じゃない。そりゃ時々体調悪そうにはしてるけど、そんな死ぬだなんて。
Maya said in a feeble voice before removing her glasses. I could see that her hands were shaking so
私
slightly.
にもいつ終わりが来るのかわからない。
Then Shion tilted her head and gently smiled. Do I get this? Do I don't?
世界の終わりと私の死、どちらが先に来るんだろう。シオンは
Maya slammed her fist on the table. It bit her lip.
本気で終わっていく世界に居残るつもりなの？人々をみんな宇宙に追い出して誰もいなくなった静かな世界で生きる。それが私の本当の目的だったのかも。そんなの何もないということに憧れていたのかもしれない。私は100年も生きた。やるべきことはたくさんあったけど、それらも全部果たした。だからもう死んじゃってもいいの。死んだってエリカさんって人には会えないんだよ。
Shion smiled and did not answer her. She drank her black tea with a smile on her face.
マヤ。
春菜くんも何か言ってよ。
Maya glared at me with resentment as tears formed in her
シオンの
eyes.
意志を変えることは誰にもできない。誰にも曲げられない強い意志があったからこそ、シオンはシオンとしてみんなに認められたんだ。そうだろう。
けどここで最後を待つだけなんて。
それを決めるのもシオンだ。
She must have been wishing for Shion not to die from the bottom of her heart. She must have had wanted Shion to live in a new world she guided everyone to. Even I understood how she felt.
マヤには未来がある。エリカや他のフェリクスたち、多くの人々が作った未来が生きてほしいの。みんなに生きてほしい。シオン。
Maya's voice trembled as she said Shion's name. When Shion said everyone, she wasn't counting herself. I dare say she already considered herself dead, and I was sure Maya already knew that too. I set my gun beside my pillow and flopped onto my bed. Though I couldn't be sure if that Maya had come to terms with it afterwards, she backed off. Maya truly had come to love Shion. I understand her desire not to leave Shion alone, so I couldn't be very hard on Maya either. But that as it may, there was ultimately no path left for Maya but to leave this planet. What was that just now? It was like a chill had just passed through me. It was making me nervous. I grabbed my gun and stood up. Nothing seemed particularly abnormal when I looked out the window. I listened carefully, but nothing stood out. The very moment I heard a faint noise as I gripped my gun and ran from the room.
Shion!
Though the ground was warm, these mountains were cold in their own rights at night. Shion, who stood outside the car, seemed to be trembling slightly.
リョウも気づいた？
なんだかわからんが、俺が確かめるから、シオンは家の中にいろ。
ここにいたい。
寒いだろう。マヤのところにいてくれ。
マヤは寝てるみたい。今日はもう疲れちゃったのね。
叩き起こしていいから、マヤと一緒にいろ。何か起こったら、俺のことは構わないから逃げて。
Shion unexpectedly squeezed my hand. I could feel the sensation of a warm, gentle touch on my
シオン。
あなたのそば以上に安全な場所なんてあるの？
Her tone was so indifferent. I couldn't tell whether she was serious or joking.
私、本当は結構怖がり。いつもエリカがそばにいてくれないと不安で仕方なかった。だけど、リョウは私を守ってくれた。言葉だけじゃなくて、本当に私を守り続けてくれた。
Shion looked up at me with those great big eyes of hers. They contained no insecurity nor instability within them. Appealed to the well, nothing other than a deep trust for that which they gazed upon, almost like the eyes of a young child looking up at her mother.
もう何も怖くない。今日まで私を守ってくれたリョウがここにいるから。
She looked away. She gazed into the trees at the mountain obscured by darkness. It's coming. And whispered that single phrase. Good. In that moment, there seemed to be a pandemonium all over the mountain. That happened right. I held Shion closer on reflex. Did I get her fast enough? Or had the sharp wave which fiercely shook the air been first? I couldn't tell. I felt the impact for a brief moment. I opened my eyes and listened closely. I tuned all my senses to pay careful attention to my surroundings. I would protect the tiny body I had held in my arms with all that I had from anything that would try to hurt her. When that long moment passed, she took a small breath.
Ryo.
I guess this is where I'm gonna end it for you guys. Ooh, what was that? What was that huge gust? What was that huge gust of wind? That huge gust? That huge that impact? Fuck. What was that fucking huge impact that just happened that shook the entire area? What's going on, guys? You'll find out in the next episode. And if you like the video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed today, make sure to hit that button when I upload the new video to stay updated with uploading new videos. And also, stay awesome, Otakudos. Makoto Otakudo, sign out. Bye.